Today, I'm going to share with you one of the top simple tools my clients absolutely love that supports them in their day-to-day life. Now, so far, I've shared with you practices to shift you from feeling stressed to feeling calm, from feeling exhausted to having more energy, to really help you ground back into your body and feel more connected with who you are. And they're fabulous practices to do that, to integrate into your day. However, they're not actually addressing the root cause, which is causing the stress, the overwhelm, the anxiety that can all lead to burnout. And I know that very well because I've been there. And so that's what I want to share with you today, a very simple tool. It's so simple that you're going to think, Chetana, how can this work? But I can tell you the neuroscience is behind it. And I have personally benefited greatly. And as I said, my private and small group coaching clients absolutely love it. But I want to share a bit more around the context of it so you can really understand the application and how it works. Now, if you think about when you're feeling distressed, when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're not feeling connected in your body and who you are, if you stop for a moment and just pay attention to what your mind's doing, you'll see that your mind is driving it. A thought creates an emotion and feeling within the body. And we do that often enough, it can become a behavioral pattern actually. And so when we're having negative thoughts or thoughts that do not support us in any way, we're actually in the primitive brain. And unfortunately, as humans, we have a natural bias for the negative. But I'm happy to say we can change that within ourselves. So you think about, as a child, we have behaviors that come about, and they're behaviors generally to protect us, to support us, to navigate situations. But what happens, they become ingrained and part of us as we grow older, because we're still behaving in those ways, even though we may not need to. And so within the brain, they become like very deep railroad tracks. So when a situation arises, we naturally get into that railway track and think that way and behave in a way that's just a reaction rather than a response. So what I'd like to show you and share with you is a simple way to start to break that automatic reactive behavior or thought pattern. So if a situation comes up, first is just recognize you're in a stressed state or distressed state and go, okay, stop for a moment, take a breath and just notice what your mind's doing. And you will find it might be in a repetitive cycle of negativity, rehashing, etc. Now you have a choice to stay in that line of thought. We have a choice to move away from it. So to really give you a visual on what this means, I'm going to just do a short screen share with you. So here we are. And if I was to say to you, are negative emotions good for you? You're most probably going to say, Chetana, no, they're not. But I want you to look at it in a different light, how you can make a negative emotion work in your favor. If I was to say to you, is pain good for you? Again, you might think, Chetana, you're crazy, but stay with me for a minute. Pain can be very good for us in the sense it can give us a message. So if you are going to put your head down, not unknowingly, on a hot plate, you'll get a millisecond of a message that makes you pull your hand back very quickly. Now, if you keep going and put that hand on the hot plate and leave it there, you know it's going to cause pain and there's no good to come out of that. So what I'm suggesting to you to do the same with your thoughts. So when you recognize you're in a negative thought pattern, go take the hand off the hot plate. Okay, I don't need to stay there caught up in it. I choose to take my hand off the hot plate. As simple as that. Now, I am going to guide you through a practice now, incorporate that and the next step. And it's the next step that will take you from that primitive brain, which has a natural negative bias, to move you into what I call the sage brain, which is your frontal cortex, where your positive emotions and responses come from. So let's get into it. So now I've explained it to you. Now I want you to experience that. So you will need to stop whatever you're doing. You need to be fully present. Because actually that's half the problem. When we're not fully present in what we're doing, that takes us into a stress state. So take a seat. Close your eyes if you're comfortable to do so. If not, just have them lowered to a fixed point, soft. And take a moment to feel into the physical aspect of your body, the weight on the chair, the position of your hands, touch of clothing on skin, touch of lips, the taste within your mouth. And turn the awareness to the breath. And take a conscious, slow, long breath in the nose. And blowing out like a straw through the lips. Long, slow breath in, and that's through the nose. Long, slow breath out through the lips like a straw. Twice more. Ceasing the practice. And I'd like you to bring to mind a conversation or a situation, nothing too challenging, that's caused you a bit of distress. It's made you feel uncomfortable or angry or created fear, or just something that's not, as I said, not too challenging, just something that feels comfortable to explore at the moment. And as you bring that to mind, just notice how that's making you feel in the body. And if any strong emotions are coming up, and you're just observing. There may be even some negative dialogues and being the self-critic has arisen, or judgment or being critical of others. Just simply being aware. And just notice what the mind is doing, what the dialogue that's going on in your mind at the moment. And now make the choice to take the hand off the hot plate. Recognize, first name it, first going, oh, negative thoughts, hand off the hot plate. Simple as that. Name it as a negative thought, hand off the hot plate. And now bring the thumb and forefinger of the right hand together and very, very slowly rub the thumb up and down the forefinger. And awareness is on that sensation of touch. Feel for the ridges of the skin, the texture. Feel the tip of the nail. The crease behind the knuckle. And explore the different temperature on different areas of the finger. Awareness is nowhere else but that sensation of touch. And cease that practice. And just notice where the mind's at. Notice how the body's responded. And just be aware of how you're feeling. And when ready, you can open your eyes. So I hope through that guided practice that you can see how when you first acknowledge where you're at and then choose to take the hand off the hot plate. So you're saying, I'm not going to get caught up in my mind around that. And then you're breaking the cycle by doing that very mindful sense of touch between the two fingers. Now, if those two fingers don't work for you, you could always rub the two forefingers together. But it's about focusing the mind in on that point of touch. And if you're like me and my clients, I dare say you would have noticed a shift of your mind. And this is actually backed by science. Like, I'm a mental fitness and wellness coach who studied with a neuroscientist and a psychologist, and all the research is there. And what happens is if we had you under an MRI scan and you'd been doing this for long enough, not just this one go, you'd actually see new fibers, neural fibers knitting in the frontal cortex of the brain, where your positive emotions reside. So put it to good use. Start to recognize when you're going into a place of negativity. Take the hand off the hot plate and do this. I know if you do it often enough, you will definitely get great results. So I'd love to hear how you've gone. So please jump back to the email, hit respond, let me know how you've gone with it, because it really does. I do care about you getting the result from these teachings that I'm sharing with you. So I'd really love to hear how you're going. So thank you again for this time. And I have got one more email coming your way where I've got something very special to share with you. So I look forward to seeing you then, and keep an eye out. It should be landing in the next few days. All right. Bye.